Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be sharing my thoughts on upcoming luxury makeup releases. A couple of the products we're going to talk about are already available right now, but we'll just be discussing whether or not I plan to purchase in this segment that I am calling Love It or Leave It. I do have my eye on a few things that I am very excited about, but it's nice to sit down and plan my purchases, budget accordingly. I cannot purchase everything that is launched. I focus on luxury, so that would just be way too expensive. And sometimes the product just isn't a great fit anyway. Something is launched and it doesn't really interest me. I always like to keep an open mind, nothing is set in stone. My opinion could always change, but it is nice for me to sit down and discuss it with you guys. That way it sort of sets expectations. You know what kind of videos to expect from me in the future, and I really value your insight and your feedback as well. So if you have any thoughts, opinions on any of the products that I mentioned today, or anything else, be sure to share down in the comment section as we go along. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm using my phone here for reference so you know where I'm looking, but I will pop up photos of everything that I'm looking at so we're seeing the same thing. We have to start first and foremost with the sneak peek of the Chanel fall collection that I am seeing on Instagram. Right now I'm looking at Mary Tushik's page and it looks like she has reposted from someone else. Klinger Tracy is the Instagram handle. There are two eyeshadow palettes here and I have to tell you guys, I'm looking at the palettes, I'm looking at the swatches, and I can see that they are different, and yet in my mind, they look identical. They look the same. I look at 362, I look at 364, and it's just like a mind jumble. I can't really differentiate between the two. They look so similar. I will always review a new Chanel collection. It doesn't matter what they come out with, unless it is something that is so obviously wrong for me, something that I should not be spending my money on. I'll always pick up a couple pieces, and not just for me, but for you guys. That way you can decide for yourself whether or not the collection is right for you. I've always known that to be true. Chanel is one of the brands that I will always follow, but it's worth vocalizing now because as I look at these sneak peeks, I'm not really that wowed by it, and I guess it's because there have been so many palettes with a similar color story launched this year. The pinks and the reds and the kind of berry colors. I don't know, I need to see more. I'm waiting patiently to see their official preview. That way I can read the story, the inspiration, see all of the other pieces that are going to go along with these eyeshadow palettes. And maybe then I will change my mind and see it differently. I will of course create a preview video as soon as that information is available to me. But right now I'm just not really sure what to think. I'm very curious to hear from you guys because maybe you have a different perspective. I've now clicked over to Chic Profile Official and all of these Instagram accounts will be linked down below. I highly recommend if you're interested in beauty news, follow all of these ladies, they're incredible. She has another sneak peek of the collection. It looks like a couple lipsticks, a Stilo You waterproof eyeliner, and a nail polish. The nail polish looks really pretty. The lipsticks are underwhelming. I just don't really know what to think about this collection yet. Yes, I will be purchasing something. This may be one of those collections that I only pick up one or two things, a handful of things. Moving on now to Charlotte Tilbury, who has had some incredible launches lately. I'm still obsessed with those giant bronzers. The compact is so beautiful. I have the medium and the tan. I love the eyeshadow palette. That was for summer, but then she also just launched 3 new lipsticks. I believe this collection is called the Wedding Bells collection. I think I saw that somewhere, now I can't find it. But the shades are beautiful, and I love Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. But for me, I'm gonna leave it. And I love it, but I'm still going to leave it because these shades have been done before by Charlotte Tilbury. I love her lipsticks. I own so many of them. And that's another reason why this is pretty easy to skip for me. If you're somebody who doesn't own a lot of Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, these are very beautiful. I would see no problem purchasing these. I think it would be a good purchase as long as this isn't a huge overlap for you. I saw a swatch online earlier today of one of the shades right next to Pillow Talk, and on this person, the two looked nearly identical. Another one of these lipstick shades reminds me a lot of Amazing Amal. Bond Girl is sort of similar. I know she has other lipsticks that are similar to these shades. They're just not different enough that I can really justify picking them up. They're nice lipsticks, and I think they are pretty bridal. I wish she had come up with something a little bit different. I don't know, maybe not even the gold tube. You know, instead of the lips, what if she did like a pearl packaging, or I don't know, something else to differentiate them. Another launch here from Charlotte Tilbury is her Magic Cream Light. Now this interests me, but for now I am going to leave it. I do love the idea. I love the magic cream in the jar, but I just prefer a pump in general with anything. I think it is just far cleaner. It's better. You don't have to dip your fingers or worry about losing the spatula to go into your jar. So this I think is amazing. The fact that it's a lighter texture, I think this is going to work well for a lot of different people, and it's probably a nice daytime consistency. So again, I think this falls into the category of if you are looking for a great daytime moisturizer, this would be great for you. I'm just not in the market for that type of product right now, although at some point I would love to feel this. It says it's a lighter texture for a mattified, smoother looking finish. SPF 20, $100. Charlotte skincare is pretty pricey in my opinion. You can get something from Chanel for less than that. You could get the Camellia Water Cream for $55. That's also another great lightweight daytime moisturizer that works really well on just about everybody. I know I talked about these eyeshadow palettes in my last Love It or Leave It, but it's worth mentioning again because for one thing, they haven't been released yet, but two, we have new photos, so we have a closer look. I'm looking at the Trend Mood page. Here are 4 eyeshadow palettes coming out from Dior. And they look really pretty. In the original image, there were just so many palettes and they looked really small. It was kind of hard to really see them. But here we get a better look. And I think they are going to be stunning. It looks like these are going to be launched sometime July, August. It's still unclear whether or not these quints will be replacing their inline palettes. I find it hard to believe that they would launch these 4 palettes as limited edition, but it's possible. Maybe they're part of a fall collection or just an eye campaign. Who knows? But right now, I'm looking at this maroon palette. I'm looking at the smoky palette. The brown palette looks very similar to a lot of palettes that we probably all have in our makeup collection. It's still really nice to have. The blue palette looks really pretty as well. Although I think I'm pretty good with my Dior blue palettes. Of these 4, the smoky gray palette speaks to me the most because you have that black eyeshadow right in the center. It looks like a silver, kind of a deep gunmetal gray. That mauve tone looks like it could be more of a matte texture. I think this could be a really beautiful smoky eye palette. Next up, we have some new Clé de Peau products to talk about. I'm looking at Mary Touchic's Instagram page. It looks like they have some new red lipsticks coming out. Very beautiful, you know, striking packaging. But what interests me the most is this new foundation. It looks like it's called Radiant Fluid Foundation Matte. And then there's also this long-lasting hydrating veil. I don't know whether that's a primer or some sort of skin tint. It's hard to tell by the packaging. It looks like it could be a hydrating primer and then a matte foundation. Both of them look really nice. And I'm a huge fan of the foundation from Clé de Peau. I have yet to bite the bullet and purchase that foundation. Oh, but it is so good. At some point, I want to go ahead and purchase, but at $250, I'm waiting. I'm in no rush. That's why I'm very curious to see the price point of this foundation. Hopefully it's less expensive. It does look like it's a matte finish, so it's not going to give you that same glow, luminosity as the foundation, but I have to try it. I'm just so interested in Clé de Peau foundations. I love their concealer. I love all of their skincare products. I have no information here about a launch date or a number of shades, but that is a product that I have my eye on. I want to test the new matte foundation from Clé de Peau, especially if it's long wearing. That could be beautiful. And it says radiant. It's a radiant fluid foundation matte. So maybe like a luminous matte finish? I don't know. Next up, YSL is coming for our wallets this season. I am so excited about both of these palettes. This is one of those items that I really have my eye on, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick up, if I'm going to just pick up both. But I'm very curious because it has been a long time coming. YSL has needed to revamp their eyeshadow palettes for a very long time. I think they have one palette right now that I think is really pretty. I think it's called the number one. It's like the nude palette. It's the one palette that most people use. Their quints aren't really talked about. They're not really that popular. They're very pretty, and I love that luxe gold packaging. It's very beautiful. But they're just not the best quality. They're not really that exciting. They've really been needing a revamp. Both of these palettes are incredibly colorful, but it also looks like they have some earth tones, at least the one. The blue palette, maybe not so much, but I think the blue palette looks gorgeous because it has that peachy orange eyeshadow shade in there. Just stunning. So the one palette has some pinks, purple, pop of yellow, but there is a gold, bronze, black, and a cream. So that's a palette that I think could be really versatile. You know, you have some daytime colors in there, then you also have some pops of color. If you're totally done with pink, then the other palette still has a peachy tone in there. It actually still has a couple pinks. Pink is just the color right now. I don't know what to tell you guys, but you do have a really pretty light blue, a deep navy, a teal. That orange color looks so stunning. I love the swatches. I think both of these palettes are really interesting. If they changed their eyeshadow formula, I might end up getting both of them. I just need to touch them. I need to feel them. I love that look of the exterior. The packaging is stunning. It looks like a YSL clutch, like a little YSL handbag. They also have a couple single eyeshadows. Now these look really pretty as well. I love the all black packaging. It looks like a really pretty cream, a brown, kind of a peachy pink, and then a maroon. There's also a new mascara here. The wand looks really pretty. I don't know if this is going to be a new mascara or what. In the past, I used to love YSL mascaras. I really liked the Couture mascara. It was the Vinyl Couture. The Baby Doll mascara I loved. And slowly but surely, they kind of got rid of all of their great mascaras. I don't really love the Shock. I'm not a fan of the curler. And the Faux Cil is kind of like the traditional mascara. That's the one decent mascara, so they really need a new mascara in my opinion. I hope this is a new mascara. But those eyeshadow palettes, I need more information. I need to know the price. Let's talk about the Dolce & Gabbana summer collection. These pieces are so beautiful, and it's really unfortunate that not a lot of places carry Dolce & Gabbana beauty. The Nordstrom at Merrick Park here in Coral Gables used to have a Dolce & Gabbana counter, and it was so sad when they got rid of it. They took out Dolce & Gabbana at the same time as Burberry, two brands that have great makeup. You know, I think a lot of people sleep on these brands because they aren't widely available. Unfortunately, they stay small until they kind of disappear like the mist. So Dolce & Gabbana right now, as far as I know, is only available at Harrods. That's the only place I've been able to find these pieces. I was able to get my hands on one of the bronzer highlight compacts. I really wanted the highlight blush, but whatever, they disappeared so quickly. I didn't even see them to be able to think about it. They were just gone immediately. I also picked up a blush that came in a really pretty compact, so I cannot wait to see these pieces in person. I thought about picking up the mascara and the foundation, but I don't know my shade, and that would just be nearly impossible to try to figure out virtually, so I didn't want to risk it. The foundation is pretty pricey. The liquid highlighter was gone. That's something that I'm keeping my eye out for. If it does come back in stock, I'm going to try to scoop it up. The $30 shipping from Harrods is insane, but I was able to work it out so that I added something to my cart that was $30 less expensive over there than it is here. So in my mind, I got free shipping. We'll see when the package arrives. I'll be sure to do an unboxing for you guys. I have a few things left here. I'm back on the Trend Mood Instagram page. Patrick Ta is releasing these powder cream blush duos, which look really pretty. And I only have one thing from Patrick Ta. It's the spray highlight, which I know a lot of people did not like. I really like it. I think it's a really cool product because I like to spray my neck, chest, décolleté if I'm wearing something off the shoulder. This just looks really pretty. It reminds me a lot of the Tom Ford cheeks, the little Shade and Illuminate duos. But they have really pretty colors. She's That Girl. Do We Know Her? Those are the two that I'm looking at. The peachy pink and then the coral color. I think those could be really interesting. He's also launching lipsticks and corresponding lip liners. And it looks like the lipsticks go with the blush. And that's a pretty popular makeup technique, you know, matching your blush with your lipstick. I think it's nice to have something that goes. It doesn't necessarily have to be a match. But I think it's kind of smart that he created a lipstick, lip liner, and a blush together. I'm sure it would be really beautiful because the colors will all complement one another. I have a few more posts here from Chic Profile Official that I want to talk about. This is a little box set from Tom Ford, all gold, but the palette inside looks beautiful. It's deep burgundy, so maybe these colors are not for you, but they look a little bit darker. I think this is a really pretty fall palette. And then you get 2 mini lipsticks. Usually these boxes are around $88, $88 or $115, I don't remember. Generally, it is a little bit of a value. Both of the lipsticks look really pretty, but I'm really more interested in the palette. That to me is what sets this box apart and really piques my interest. I need to see more photos before I decide, but I like the idea of this deeper, sultry Tom Ford palette. And then she also has another palette here from Guerlain. I love the look of this, I'm not gonna lie. These colors look very pretty. They remind me a lot of summer, so I'm not sure when this is going to be launched. Looks like the exterior packaging is just all black, kind of glossy and sleek. So it looks very pretty. Nothing outrageous, but it's the colors inside that I like. The pinks, and it looks like you have some lip products, some cheeks, and eyeshadow. So this could be something really beautiful. Guerlain is so difficult to track down. I feel like their Brazilian collection came and went like that. I'm not sure if it's going to come to stores. I'm sure it will at some point, but who knows when this is going to be available. I feel like that is one of those brands that you just never know. If something pops up, you just have to grab it. The last thing I have here to mention are these Wayne Goss makeup brushes. Trend Mood posted a couple photos. They look so pretty. I believe it's $175 for the 3 face brushes. This is a leave it for me, simply because that's really pricey for makeup brushes. I'm not really in the market for some new brushes, even though I think the artistry is really beautiful, the craftsmanship. They look really nice, and for a collector or somebody who's really into these brushes, this is going to be really beautiful. The wooden handles are a bit masculine in my opinion, so it's just not something that I am drooling over, that I just love to death. So I cannot justify spending that much money on them. But I do think they are really pretty. My personal style is just more feminine, dainty. I would prefer something all black or something really sleek and chic versus the wood. That's just my personal opinion. That completes today's Love It or Leave It. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you found it interesting to see some of the products that are going to be launched soon. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, your questions down below. I love hearing from you guys. You could always change my mind, but I definitely want to know if there's anything that you're excited about that really interests you that you have to see a video on. Drop me a comment. And the opposite is true as well. If there's something that I mentioned that you think is worth skipping, let me know your thoughts down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.